It's time to play TBR Bluff for the month of July. TBR Bluff has turned into something that I love playing every month. It does narrow me down a little bit on what I can choose for my TBR, but that's kind of the point. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, TBR Bluff is the TBR game that I play most months to help me choose my TBR. I'm an indecisive person. I need some help, and this really helps me narrow down what I want to read for the month. I will leave the playlist of TBR Bluff down in the description box for you guys to check out, but I roll a set of dice and then I use those dice to correspond to a prompt. Once I have completed the prompt, I cover it up and then it's no longer usable on the board. It'll make more sense as I go playing it, but it's actually really easy to follow. Last month, I did not complete my TBR. I read decently for it, but there were a couple of books that I just didn't get to, and that's my fault. I went completely rogue. So instead of 5 rolls, we will be doing 6 rolls this month. I have one readathon that I'm planning to participate in, and that is Romantasy-a-thon, the summer challenge. You may have already heard me mention this because I had it on my June TBR as well. It goes through June and July, and it's hosted by Tori from Tori Between Pages. I will link all of that information down below, but basically it is this giant bingo board with a ton of different romantasy prompts. You have 2 months to complete it, so if you haven't heard about it, you still have a month to complete it, and there are just some really fun prompts on there that I am loving trying to find books for. I feel like I'm in my romantasy era, and so it's just been great to be able to fully lean into the romantasy in the months of June and July. But I also have SPFBO, so we can't forget about that. I need to find a semi-finalist by the end of July. And then I think as far as required reads, the only one that I know of that I have is the Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. This is going to be starting a new series along over on my Patreon, and that is our book for July and August. So I don't necessarily have to read it in July, but I do need to have it read by August. So I think that those are all of the housekeeping things. Let's just jump into roll number 1. TBR Bluff, roll number 1. That gave us 3 1s, a 2, and a 6. What is 3 1s? That's blurbed. Blurbed is really hard, so I think I'm going to keep the 3 1s and roll again. Ooh, 4 1s and a 3. 4 1s is a hybrid genre. Hybrid genre would work really well this month, so we're gonna go with that. Roll number 1 got us 2 4s, which was a hybrid genre. For this one, I have to do romantasy, of course, and I'm going to be going with Vows and Ruins by Helen Scher. I read Blood and Steel, which is following Althea, and she lives in a world where women are not allowed to carry blades due to a prophecy that said a woman is going to make the kingdom go to ruins. She doesn't want anything but to carry a blade and wants to be one of the Knights of Thesmar. She meets Wilder Hawthorne, who is a Knight of Thesmar, and kind of crawls under his skin a little bit. It's a lot of fun. I liked the series. I didn't love book 1, but I did really enjoy it, so I definitely want to continue on. This is now a completed series as of literally this week, so I need to jump on it right now. TBR Bluff, roll number 2. So that gave us a 4, a 2, a 3, and 2 5s. So I'm definitely going to keep the 2 5s. That's an isolated setting. But I'm not planning to read a lot of horror this month, and that tends to be more where isolated setting comes in. So I think I'm going to just keep the 2 5s and roll the rest. That gave me another 5, a 6, and a 1. 3 5s is Steal a Book. There's not any TBRs up at the moment of me filming this, so do we try our last roll and just hope for the best? Okay, that got me 4 5s, which is a KU book, and that is perfect. Finally, for once, my gamble pays off. TBR Bluff, roll number 2 got us 4 5s, which is a KU book or a Kindle Unlimited book. For this one, I am going to be squeezing an SPFBO book on there and going with the Oathsworn Legacy. This is one of the chunky fantasies that was on my list for SPFBO. If you guys have no idea what SPFBO is, it is a self-published fantasy blog off where 300 books get submitted, 10 judges and their teams whittle it down to 10 finalists, and then the 10 judges help to pick the best indie fantasy book of of that year. I'm on Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy's team again this year, so I'll be picking a semi-finalist for her to read to choose a finalist is one of my 10 reads. I really need to jump on it. I picked a lot of chunky books, and so I am being a little bit slow on this one, but the Oathsworn Legacy looks like it could be a lot of fun. It looks kind of epic, and so I'm hoping that I really enjoy it. TBR bluff, roll number 3. A 1, 3 2s, and a 6. 3 2s is not on the board anymore. 2 2s is, and that is new to TBR, which could be really good. But since we don't actually have 3 2s left on the board, and I don't want 4 2s, we're gonna keep 2 2s and re-roll. Okay, so that one landed on a 4. So we have a 6, a 4, and a 5. Not at all helpful. Let's try our last roll. So that gave me 2 4s and a 5. So 2 2s and 2 4s. I don't, oh, it is. Ooh, that worked out well. That's a pet pick. That's fun. TBR bluff, roll number 3 got us 2 4s and 2 2s, which was a pet pick. So let me insert the clip of me having Ollie choose my next read. Okay, inserting phone clip. I don't have any cat treats, so unfortunately it can't be Bryn. It's gonna have to be Little Monster Ollie, but he is scratching at the door. He knows something's going on in here, so let's let him in and see what he picks. Did want to really quickly show you guys what he has to choose from, though. We either have Blood Sanctuary Part 1, Beneath Black Sails by Claire Sager, A Fate Inked in Blood, or The Reaper. The Reaper is significantly shorter than the rest, so I did put it on the end just to kind of make it more fair, but the rest of these, pretty chunky. So let's see what he ends up with. All right, little monkey, you ready? Choose me something good. Choose me something good. Oh, you went for the first one. What a cheat. Okay. He picked Blood Sanctuary Part 1. Alright, so that little stinker chose for me Blood Sanctuary Part 1, but unfortunately, it is not just a Part 1, there is also a Part 2. So this makes up one book, so I'm going to be considering the whole thing on my TBR, which is like 800 pages. So thanks, Ollie, for choosing something incredibly chunky for me to read. This is technically book 3 in the Blood Mercy series following Cassia and Leo. I love their love story. It's got Hespertine, a great world, lots of politics, and I'm really excited to continue on in the series. TBR bluff, roll number 4. That gave me 3 3s, a 5, and a 2. 3 3s is a sci-fi, which I have used many times before and not been successful. But there is one book that I really do need to try to read. But there is one book that could work for that. So do I do it? I don't want to read a sci-fi. We're just gonna choose chaos. We're gonna re-roll. Not helpful. Do I run the risk of taking away a 3? Oh, I don't know what I did with this one. So I guess we're taking away a 3 because I swear there were 3s. Not helpful. Okay, so what is 2 3s? 2 3s is reverse page count. I can still work with that. TBR bluff roll number 4 got us 2 3s, which was a reverse page count. This one was extremely hard because I looked at Blood Mercy Part 1, which is technically what he chose, and it is 440 pages. Okay? That means that I need to read a book that is 44 pages. So I looked, I don't have a novella that's anywhere close to 44 pages. I did check The Reaper, but it's like 80 pages, so that was not close. So I was like, okay, well then I'll just combine the two, add the page count together, and then I'll just do the reverse page count of that, which was 188 pages. I don't have anything that's close to 188 pages either. So I don't know what to do for this one because I need a reverse page count, and I'm looking on my horror shelf to see if there was anything over there that could potentially work for 188 pages, but I'm not seeing anything that I own that's that short, and my brain has kind of shut off for the summer and I cannot think of a book that is that short. So if you guys have a suggestion, leave it down in the comments for me, but like, I'm coming up blank. So I decided that I guess the only way to fix this, because normally if I don't find a prompt, then I have to bust out the Wheel of Doom. But this is just that I can't do the prompt. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bootleg it. We're gonna do one roll, and whatever prompt that roll gets me is just gonna be what it is. I can't do my 3 re-rolls or anything like that. We're just gonna substitute in and find us a new prompt. All right, so we have a bootleg roll. That gave us 2 1s, a 2, a 3, and a 4. 2 1s, I don't think it's on the board anymore. Oh, it is. It's out of my comfort zone. Well, dang it. I guess we're going with out of my comfort zone. Okay, so that got me 2 1s, which was out of my comfort zone. Not a great replacement prompt. I was hoping for something better than that because I don't like reading out of my comfort zone. And honestly, I don't keep a lot of books that are significantly out of my comfort zone anymore because I like what I read. Even though I like to step out of my comfort zone and try new things, I don't very often, but I did find one, and that is the Perilous Undertaking by Deanna Raybourn. This is a historical murder mystery. Not in my comfort zone, not in my typical read, so I absolutely think this is going to count. It is the sequel to A Curious Beginning, and people adore this series. This is such a booktube darling. I liked A Curious Beginning, but I didn't love it, but I do want to continue on in the series and try it and see if I like the second book. If I do, I'll continue on. If not, I'll probably tap out. TBR Bluff, roll number 5. 2 3s, a 1, a 4, and a 4. So 2 3s and 2 4s is a Patreon pick. I'm definitely going to stick with this one. TBR Bluff, roll number 5 got us 2 4s and 2 3s, which is a Patreon pick. I don't have their actual pick at the time of filming this. I will need to put up a poll, but basically this is where I just put up a poll for my patrons, let them choose what I'm going to be reading for the month. So I'm going to give them a couple of different options, and I'm going to give them all choices on my Every Romantasy challenge because I really, really need to finish this challenge off this month. So I'm going to let them choose between A Reign of Shadow and Endings, Of Mischief and Mages, Castle of Never and Nightmares, A Crown of Ash and Silver, A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows, and I think that's it. I think those are the only ones that I really have left that I need to read. So they will have lots of romantasy choices. Here's what they chose. I'm excited for all of these, so I can't really say that there is one that I don't want them to pick. There are definitely some that are chunkier than others, so maybe they'll be nice to me and choose something that's not super long or has an audiobook, but either way, this was their choice. Hopefully it's a good one. Since I did not finish my TBR last month, I do need to do a 6th roll. We are looking kind of full, but we're also getting kind of close to being able to clear the board. If I got a non-Western setting, I could actually clear the board. So let's see what we get for our final roll. A 1, a 2, a 5, a 4, and a 6. Well, that is not at all helpful. So I guess we're going to re-roll the whole hand. Wow. Okay. Final roll, anyone? Okay, that one was a little bit better and got me 2 5s, but can I do anything with the 2 5s? Because I think that's come up before. Isolated setting. I didn't want that one, so I guess it's only fitting that I still ended up with it. Okay, so here is the board. It is looking awfully full at the moment. We still could clear with the non-Western setting. If I got TBR Vet and Full House or TBR Vet and Fantasy, we would be able to clear the board. Spooky and Free Space. So we have options, but we're looking full. And then our final and 6th roll for not completing my TBR ended up giving us 2 5s, which was an isolated setting. I actively avoided this prompt, so it's only natural that of course it comes back up and I had no choice but to choose it. But for isolated setting, I'm going to use my trusty Darcy and go with Parasite by Darcy Coates. This has been on I don't know how many TBRs. Will I get to this month? Who knows? But I do really want to read this. It's one of the few Darcys that I have not read, especially one of the few that is an isolated setting, but not one of her haunted house stories. So this is like a serial, and it is sci-fi, and there is some kind of alien that is after this crew that is on a moon outpost. So Hopefully I really enjoy this. It's definitely a different format than I'm used to from Darcy, but I've heard good things and I definitely want to give it a try. So that is my very chaotic, slightly out of my control TBR for the month of July. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It wouldn't be a Mel TBR without it being just all over the place, right? So I don't have all of the books handy that I'm going to be reading this month, but we've got a pretty stacked TBR. So we have Blood Mercy Part 1, or Blood Sanctuary Part 1 and 2, Vows and Ruins Book 2, A Perilous Undertaking, Parasite, Whatever the Patreons Choose, and Oathsworn Legacy. So pretty chunky TBR. I don't think I'm going to get through all of these and we're going to end up having to do more rolls again, but I can try. I can try. I'm going to do my best. We're going to hope it goes well. At some point, I need to do a TBR that is just a TBR of previous books on TBRs that I haven't read yet, because I try, but I don't always succeed. Okay guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what a book on your TBR is this month. Are you excited for your TBR, and are you going to be participating in any readathons? If you just want to let me know that you were here and hanging out, leave me a rose for Blood Sanctuary. As always, links to my Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads are down in the description box below. Here is a playlist of all of my previous TBR Bluff videos if you guys want to check that out. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!